Good Monday to you, everybody. Income 651. Welcome to week boom 1. How's everybody doing? How are you doing? As you can probably see from the state of my blinky-eyed face, it is early here where I am. I'm in the Midwest, and it's Arctic. It is cold. But it is the beginning of the new semester and the beginning of class, and this is our first video. Okay, so welcome one and all. And for any of you who've had me before or know anything about me, you know that before we get started with anything, we get started properly. That is, I run on coffee. Oh, that is good. Much better. Okay, here I am now, your sufficiently caffeinated communication instructor. Welcome to the class, everybody. For this video, I'm going to go over the syllabus with you, and you know, I know it's like syllabus. Excuse me. It's not the sexiest topic in the world, but I mean, I say this for all courses, but this one in particular, this is important. Okay. This class, that is public relations cases and campaigns, is a requirement for those of you in the strategic communications program. Some of you may be masters, some of you may be PhD students. This class is designed to accommodate you both. Okay. What we're going to do, we'll focus in this class heavily on the research and strategic parts of public relations, and it's, you know, that's the less exciting part, I would say. And I mean, well, depending on your temperament, I mean, some people really like the research part. I don't dislike it, right? But it's the part of public relations where you'll either dunk it or really crash it, really screw it up. And the reason for that is what you're going to find if you go to work in public relations, that's where you end up, is you get a lot of people who'll say, and usually they don't use the word feel, they use like think or something like that. Sometimes they do say feel, I guess. But I think that people would respond to this, or I feel that people would respond to that, and I think we should say this, and I think we should say that. Great. Public relations is not a business of I think, I feel. Some of the most spectacular public relations failures that have ended up costing the organization either its very existence or millions upon millions of billions of dollars have come from PR people who didn't do research before they crafted a campaign, a plan. And so if you learn, excuse me, if you learn the research and the evaluation components of public relations, and if this is an area that you want to get into, when you hit the market, you will be in a much stronger position, a much more valued position, and a much more fluid position. That is, it'll be easier for you to go from job to job, or what you want is to go up the job ladder. Because I can tell you, as someone that worked for years raising money for not-for-profits and spending a lot of time on PR and PR campaigns as a function of that, nothing will make you more valuable. I'm turning off the heater there, to organizations than your ability to attract clients, positive PR, generate sales, and all of those add up to the bottom line of a nice, robust bottom line. And in fact, depending on what industry you decide to work in, the demand on that performance metric goes up. In the not-for-profit industry, unfortunately, for a lot of organizations, it's quarterly. That is, every 3 months, show us the money. All right. And if you master those skills, the skills of understanding and being able to execute solid research, and understanding and being able to execute solid analysis, what's the problem here, and how do we communicate it, and what is it that needs to be talked about and not talked about. You master those skills, you will never lack for work. Okay, so that's the overall focus. Now you will be getting a chance to try your hand at PR campaigns, and I'm going to give you real life scenarios, and some of them are kind of, I don't remember what it was called, but for any of you who watched the Star Trek series, there was a test that they gave cadets at the academy. That was the test was, it was a no-win test, and in the series, the character James T. Kirk cheats and beats the test. I'm not going to give you any no-win scenarios in the PR world, but I'll give you scenarios that from real life, that based on how they were handled and then handled subsequently, you'll be able to see how the organizations really backed themselves into a corner and created what was nearly a no-win scenario. Okay, so that's a overview of what we're going to do with the core state, about 3,000 feet, as the expression goes. Let's take a look at the syllabus. I would prefer that you download this or maybe even print it out. Keep it handy. There's a schedule in here about what we're going to be doing week by week. There's all the point values. There's the region, grading scale, how you're going to be evaluated. All of that stuff is in this document. Okay. My office hours are right there, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12 to 2 Eastern. Text me, call me. That's fine. If you text me, put your name and say, this is so-and-so from COM 651. This helps me keep straight who's coming from where. Email is good. Please use the Canvas portal for email, right? Don't try to avoid emailing me directly. And the reason for that is this, again, helps me keep my correspondence in order. And I have a special designation within my email for stuff that comes through Canvas, and it goes into a specific mailbox that gets my attention. Okay. So my email's right here on the syllabus, my phone number, and that is actually my phone number, right here. Woo-woo. So, just use it, don't abuse it, as the saying goes. Okay. You're going to notice in terms of the schedule of this class that it runs basically in Monday to Monday. So I will post new discussion questions week by week. We're going to get into that here in just a second. Tuesday mornings. All right. Weekends. I am not in the office a lot on weekends, and I am almost never in the office on Sunday. I'm at mass. I'm with my family. I'm having breakfast with my wife or my children. And I would I get it. Busy lives. I would like you to be able to do the same. That is, to slow down and take a little time on the Sabbath. And that's why things are not due Monday morning, but Monday night. Okay. So slow down, take time, worship, rest on the Sabbath. And then if you have a little bit left to clean up by way of stuff to do that Monday day and then post it Monday night. Okay. Course description, blah, blah, blah. You can read through that. But one of the things that's in here that I want to emphasize is think of yourselves as consultants. You are PR consultants. And you might say, well, I don't know anything about PR. How could I be a consultant? That's okay. All right. Rather than just being a student. And a good consultant will understand how to research the market and then how to analyze the strengths and weaknesses of a campaign designed to fit that market. In fact, one of the things that we're going to do this semester is something called a SWOT analysis, SWOT. And for those of you who've never heard of it, I think we spent time in the business school. That might be a term that's familiar to you, an acronym. But if you don't know what it is, don't worry. That's why you're here. You will learn. Okay. relationship to, of course, the Regent's mission. There's our biblical perspective. I'm going to let you read that here. The program outcomes. And here we get into the course requirements and what each of the assignments will touch on in relationship to those requirements. If you're, looking at the syllabus, this is about page 4. Okay. Attendance policy. Okay. For the first week, you must show activity on Canvas. I know nobody here fits this category, but believe it or not, there are folks out there who sign up for college classes, take federal money, and then 23 skidoo. Or that there are people out there who run fake accounts, bots that sign up for classes. The person takes federal money and then they 23 skidoo. Anything now that's done online, you have to demonstrate as the institution, not you, Regent, has to demonstrate that the person there is actually a live person. If you don't participate in the first week, the Office of the Registrar will begin the process of disenrolling you from the class. All right. So, typically I'll throw up a quiz or something that is not, it's not graded in the sense of a point value, but it's there that I can point to when the registrar asks me, is everybody participating, that you're actually participating. All right. So you are required to log on to Canvas, do that weekly. Throughout the course of the semester, do I look and take attendance? Yeah, sometimes. Okay. I'll try to get to you if I see you're drifting out to sea. I may or may not, because look, I love each and every one of you. All right. Let me just get that straight. I am deeply invested in your success. But as with many things in life, consider this. It's a matter of perspective. From your perspective, there's one of me. From my perspective, there are dozens of you. And I'm not just talking about this course. I'm talking about all the classes that I teach. And so, trying to keep track of you all right, is much harder for me than you just keeping track of what I'm doing. That is by logging on Canvas and keeping current on the assignments and what's going on with the videos, so on and so forth. You see? So give me some love. Okay. Stay, come into Canvas weekly. I will post a video every week. All right. The videos are important because there's going to be stuff that we cover in the videos that you're not going to get posted on Canvas. Okay. So that's the attendance policy down on the bottom of page 5, page 6, Canvas requirements. You got to be able to sign in. Okay. You have to have a system that signs in. I discourage you from using your phones because Canvas, along with a lot of other web pages, doesn't platform the same on your phone as it does on a laptop or a PC or a desktop, whether you use Apple or whatever. Okay. Late assignments. Hey man, there's no such a thing in the Regent, handbook. I don't have to accept late assignments. I've had some people say, oh, wait a minute. Isn't it a policy that no, it's not. No. Okay. Look, I'm not here to make your lives difficult. I know that you have busy lives and you're doing a lot of things. All right. So work with me and help me work with you. I get it. If things get crazy, I mean, many of you you've got jobs, some of you've got kids, many of you are traveling, because this is a communication business. You're out and about in the world. Talk to me if you have a problem with an assignment. And that doesn't mean if the assignment is due that evening that you call me that afternoon. All right. Your communication majors, communicate. Okay, weekly videos. As I said, it's important that you watch the video each week. And depending on what we're doing, I may even live stream, like do some Zoom where you can jump in and ask questions as we're going, like say when we're reviewing some of the assignments. All right. But just understand this. You'll see a video usually Tuesday because weekends on Monday. Watch the video. I will work very hard. Today's going to be an exception, but I will work very hard to keep the videos under 20 minutes, no longer than 30. All right. Because what we're going to do is we'll cover what's coming up. I'll give you a little lecture about the material. I'll review what you did last week. I'll talk about assignments. I may do separate videos in which I evaluate your performance on the assignments. Short of it is there's going to be stuff in the video, and I want to, excuse me, I want to repeat this again. There are going to be things in the video that will not be on Canvas because the video's on Canvas. There's the link to the video. All right, make sure you watch the videos. Okay, people always ask me, what about discussions? And there are weekly discussions in here. How do you grade them? I don't think I developed this rubric. I think people in our department did. This is the bottom of page 6. But look, answer the questions that are put up each week. Respond to the number of classmates that you're asked to respond to. It'll be in the question. It'll be very clear. And make your response substantive. I mean, something that if your response sounds like email phishing, or something that I might say to somebody as I bumped into them as I passed them on the street, that's not a response. Or, hey, good point, Jim. All right. Discussion, substance. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Top of page 7. The required texts for this class are, as is with the case of many textbooks, outrageously priced. I don't set these prices. All right. There's a book by Scott, PR Campaign workbook, and then the book by Stacks, the Primer of Public Relations Research. They're both available in the Regent Bookstore. They're also available on Amazon, probably Barnes and Nobles and stuff like that. Paper or digital copy is fine. I think this semester I'm using digital copy. Okay. So I may or may not be referring to specific pages. Okay. I will, reference sections and chapters. All right. Here are some recommended supplemental resource recommendations that are recommended. You don't have to buy these, but if you're really interested in PR, these are books that are on my shelf. And in fact, as we go through the semester, I'll be pulling others and discussing them with you. So if you're interested in building a career in public relations, these are some of the standard reads that will serve you well. That is things that you're gonna have, and you will find useful to reference as you work and develop in your career. Okay, let's talk about the assignments for the class. Now we're at the bottom of page 7 for those of you following along. There you will have 4 PR presentations worth 15% each of them of your grade. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a scenario. I'm going to ask you to either develop a part of a campaign, all right, or a specific campaign from top to bottom. In other words, I may ask you, for instance, I'll give you a scenario and then ask you to construct a SWOT analysis. And again, if you don't know what that is, don't worry. Okay. Or I may ask you to construct the dialogue that would be used in the public presentation of the campaign. Or I may ask you to develop what is it that you would present to the client. There are really 3 major components to every PR campaign. Right? These are the 3 big categories. There's the research component, and this is almost 99.9% an internal document. That is, you go out there and you find out, hey, what's going on? What does the public think? What factors are driving current opinion? How strong is it, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. This usually stays in-house. Now, some of it you may share with the client that you're working for, but this is stuff for the people making decisions. Okay. That's the first bit. Then the second bit is your explanation of the scenario to the client, the explanatory document. Hey, we did research. This is what we found. This is what's going on. we know you've told us these are your goals, these are your problems. Here's how those line up with what we found, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, you're explaining what it is you're going to do based on this dialogue that you're having. And then there's there's the campaign. There's the actual presentation component. That is the stuff that you turn loose to the public, and it does not contain, or usually does not contain the research, and it certainly doesn't contain the conversations with the client. It's what you're going to say to the public. All right, those are the three major categories of a PR campaign. Now there's as you'll see as you go through your readings, there are subsets and all this stuff. Okay, so these PR assignments will have you go through either one or all of those, and as you know, we go from assignment 1 to 2 and 3, 4. We'll expand out the complexity. All right. I'm expecting that you take these seriously. Right. Again, next to not doing research, one of the fastest and easiest ways to sink a PR campaign, even before you turn it loose, is sloppiness. No research, poorly written, badly edited, lack of evidence of conversation with the client, that is, you're just not listening to what they're telling you, a lack of demonstrated understanding of the market, what's really going on. And it's not about what the client wants to have happen in the market or what you as a PR consultant want to have happen amongst the people. It's what's happening. Perhaps the classic example within, say, the last 5 years was Bud Light. And she got fired. The person that thought it was a good idea for Dylan Mulvaney, a very confused young man who pretends he's a woman, to hire him to promote the product to a customer base that's primarily male, blue collar, working class, plugged into sports, a lot of sort of in the dirt recreational activities, and has nothing to do with someone whose lifestyle and interests align with Dylan Mulvaney. To turn him into a spokesman for the beer was an absolute catastrophe, and it cost the company billions of dollars. And they hired a series of PR firms to come in and help them clean up the mess after they fired the person who thought it was a good idea. And that's because she didn't do any research. It was a horrible idea. Okay. I absolutely guarantee you that, those companies that got the job, and there were, if you look at what Anheuser-Busch, which is the parent company that produces the beer, if you look at what they did in the aftermath, you can see a series of PR campaigns, not just one. They did a number of them. And I'm absolutely guarantee you that the companies who got the job or lost the job, or didn't get the job, did so because on the front end, they were sloppy. Their proposals were poorly written. The research wasn't there. I'm holding you not to Bud Light, but to the same standards. Don't give me draft work. Don't give me sloppy work. Don't give me work that's not edited. If I ask for research, don't give me work that doesn't have market research. I worked in PR and related fields for like 20 years. I have a nose for this. All right. So take these assignments seriously. There are 4 of them, and taken together, they make up the majority of your grade, 60%. Okay. All right. Then we're going to have weekly discussions. I'll have questions based in the readings and ask you to answer said and then interact with your classmates. And then we have a final exam at the end, and this will be drawn from your readings. It will be drawn from stuff that I go over in the videos. It will be drawn from things that come from your assignments. Now, some of you might be saying, gosh, an exam, why? I'll tell you why. Here's why. It's not because I just want to figure out another assignment to torture your souls. Sorry, that's brutal. No, but in the business of communication, all businesses have their jargon. They have their assumed set of foundational knowledge. They have their assumed set of awareness of predecessors in the field, who was doing what before we came along. You got to know this if you're going to operate in the field. You cannot show up as a newbie and know none. I mean, for instance, you cannot show up and work in a PR firm and not know what a SWOT analysis is, because nobody's going to explain it to you. They say, okay, let's do a SWOT analysis. And you're looking around going, what's that? SWAT, like as in whack a bug, SWAT, like, no, SWO, YO. You're out of there. Okay, so you got to have this base knowledge, and the final exam is going to test you on that. Okay, so it'll come at the end of the semester, at the end of the course. It'll be cumulative. It's worth over 20% of your grade. So, and we'll talk more about how to prepare for it, and what will be therein that is on the exam. Okay. All right. So for this week, what I'd like you to do is to start reading both Stacks and Scott, chapter 1 and 1. Now, you're going to notice as we go through the semester that there's some of these chapters that jump out of order. That's that way on purpose. Okay. So for instance, by week 5, we're reading chapter 8 in Scott, and then week 6, we read chapter 6, and then week 7, we read chapter 7. Not a mistake. Trust me, there's a method to the madness. Okay. And then finally, for this week, say hello. Start talking about yourself. You go over to Canvas in the module, in the discussions module. There's a thread already set up to allow you to introduce yourself to me and to everybody else. Looking forward to hearing all about you. Looking forward to this semester. This stuff is very exciting. That is public relations. There is a lot of work that you can do out there. So it is a dynamic and growing field. Okay, everybody, welcome again. If you have any questions, remember to use that Canvas email. Pop them right over to me. And until probably tomorrow when I post the discussion questions, I will see you later. All right, everybody, welcome. God bless. Good semester. See you on Canvas. Bye-bye.